Righty hell, the news articles are starting to pop up all over the gaff. Hello dear friends, how's it going? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you lot are all doing well today, my friends. I really do hope that. Namaste to you. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy where I see what's being said around the headlines, giving you my opinion, but more importantly, asking for yours. Two stories we're going to dip into today. Yes, of course, Tammy Abraham wanted by the Gooners. Chelsea's fierce rivals from North London, Arsenal, are after Tammy Abraham. Also, defender Jules Koundé looking to snub Tottenham, unsurprisingly, for the Blues, should a transfer be able to happen. Lots to crack into, friends. Do make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Road to 130,000 subs. Amazing, really. So make sure you subscribe if you want to. Hit the bell notifications icon. And if you want to show your love and support, please do drop a like, because it does help me out here on the plains of YouTube. They like likes. Hey, who doesn't? I'll stop saying likes now. Please drop a like. Alright then, let's jump into the first subject of today's video and talk about Jules Koundé and centre-back. Today we'll be citing an article from the Daily Express. Chelsea have, of course, been linked with Koundé, a highly rated French defender that lots of European elite clubs are looking at the moment. Of course, Chelsea are looking at a centre-back. And of course, they've just let one go, well, seemingly on the sort of verge of completion, Marc Guehi on a 5-year deal to Crystal Palace. Now, if you want my instantaneous and detailed reaction to this sale, check out my latest upload where I sit at my desk and talk to you about Crystal Palace signing one of Chelsea's brightest academy prospects and how maybe we can expect to see this more and more after Tomori as well. Go check out my latest upload for that. Right, Jules Koundé, the Sevilla player, can play in a back two, back three, can play as a fullback. Versatile, young, good defender, highly rated French international, was starting some games in Euro 2020 for the world champions France, and lots of teams want him. Tottenham want him, Chelsea want him, he prefers Chelsea to Tottenham, unsurprisingly, Champions League winners or Europa Conference participants. I know who would I choose. Look, let's be a little bit objective for a moment. Of course, Tottenham are a big European club. Hey, they were invited to the European Super League. Ugh. Anyway, they are a big club in some ways. They've got a big stadium, probably the best stadium in England at the moment, and they've got an amazing training ground. You know, they've got good players. You know, so they could still attract players, but when you're coming up against Chelsea, the champions of Europe, Chelsea are the champions of Europe, you could understand why perhaps a player would prefer to go there. Anyway, let's dip into this article from the Daily Express, see what they're saying about the situation. Sevilla defender Jules Koundé would reportedly be open to a move to Chelsea and is ready to snub a transfer request from Tottenham due to their lack of Champions League football. The Frenchman is a target of several European clubs this summer, and he has been strongly linked to the Premier League, with several teams in need of a new centre-back. Manchester United were previously believed to be interested, but the Red Devils seem to set an approach to Koundé's fellow France defender Raphael Varane, who's widely tipped to leave Real Madrid this summer. Yeah, of course, Rafa Varane, a 4-time Champions League winner, World Cup winner, very good player. Gonna be 29 though, not the longest term. Longest term? Not a long-term option, certainly in comparison to Jules Koundé, but of course a very good player nonetheless. Tottenham moved ahead of United and Chelsea, with the new boss Nuno Espirito Santo in need of new signings to bolster his defensive ranks. Jose Mourinho and the latterly interim head coach Ryan Mason struggled for consistency in defence, and Nuno does not want the same issue next season. No, makes sense. Nuno Espirito Santo's football ethos seemingly is built on a good defence, much like Thomas Tuchel in many ways, but I'd say he's not as good. Let's read on. But Spurs' failure to qualify for either the Champions League or even the Europa League may work against them and allow Chelsea to move ahead in the race for Koundé, who is likely to cost close to £50 million. Spanish outlet AS reports that Koundé will only depart Sevilla for sporting reasons and that Tottenham, who will pay the inaugural European Conference next term, would not be a natural progression. The 22-year-old would instead prefer to feature in one of the elite European competitions and not the new third-tier tournament that begins this season. That would put Chelsea and Man United ahead of Spurs in the race for Koundé's signature. Yeah, imagine like going down a competition and going into the Europa League conference. It's not a good look, is it? It's not a good look. However, both teams have other priorities that could mean that Koundé remains at Sevilla for another year. Chelsea just about secured Champions League qualification on the final day of the season, but would have been in the draw for the competition anyway, due to them going on to sensationally win the tournament in May. Boss Thomas Tuchel oversaw a remarkable transformation of a side that were 9th in the Premier League when he replaced Frank Lampard at the end of January. The German head coach guided the Blues to a 4th place finish despite a final day defeat by Aston Villa. Yeah, forget about that. The domestic season actually ended with a massive sort of like weird cloud / moment of relief over our heads. We were like, well, we've done it. We've fell into 4th place at the end and this team looks rather unconvincing and it was all rather worrying. Fortunately, the Chelsea boys put in an absolutely magnificent performance in the Champions League final, and there was no fluke there. Chelsea were well worthy winners against Manchester City, and the season ended with a massive positive. But in terms of good performances in the Premier League, they'll need to sort of give their heads a wobble, I reckon. So Jules Koundé, what are we thinking? No point in ruminating over negative aspects of letting academy talent go, generating money, funding, new signings and all that. Look at the positives, even if I'm frustrated with the negatives. I've watched Koundé, he looks pretty good, he's clearly highly rated. He's been linked a lot with Chelsea. I think he will get a big move. Whether that's to Chelsea or not, we'll have to see. But if he does hold up the shirt, I, like many Chelsea fans, would be very excited to watch him in Chelsea blue. Right, let's move on to the next story of today's video and talk about Tammy Abraham. I'm singing, but I hurt inside. Tammy Abraham, I was so excited when Frank Lampard joined Chelsea and gave Tammy the number 9 shirt. Remember, at the beginning of the 19-20 campaign, Tammy Abraham was on the flames, scoring loads of goals. A few weeks in, he was the league's top goal scorer. He got to 5 goals or 6 goals really quickly. And it was a feel-good story. Tomori at the back, Tammy in attack, you know the rest. Both gonna be sold. Well, one's been sold, looks like Tammy will be sold as well. And the academy stars are dropping off like flies. Look man, if you ask me, is Tammy good enough to lead the line right now for this Tuchel team moving forwards? I'd say no. Like many of you, I have to be pragmatic and objective. Does that mean I 100% want him sold? This young 22-year-old who's very talented, he might be 23 now, I'm not sure. It's difficult, you can't have it all in football. But Arsenal, he's been linked to Arsenal. He's been linked to a lot of clubs, including the likes of Everton, but apparently Arsenal are sniffing around Tammy Abraham. And remember, Tammy Abraham comes from a family of Arsenal fans. Yes, he joined the Chelsea Academy when he was 6, but all his family are Gooners. Whether he is, I'm not entirely sure, because when you join Chelsea at such a young age and develop with that team and see the Chelsea stars around you, perhaps he became a Chelsea fan by proxy. Still, it's a difficult one. We're going to be citing an article from the Metro today to guide you through this Tammy Abraham Arsenal story that originally broke in the Telegraph. Arsenal have registered their interest in signing Chelsea striker Tammy Abraham, according to reports. Chelsea are actively looking to sell Abraham this summer, as the striker failed to secure a regular role in the side after Thomas Tuchel replaced Frank Lampard as manager at the end of January. Chelsea are holding out for £40 million transfer fee for Abraham, with West Ham and Aston Villa already in the running to sign the 23-year-old. But according to the Telegraph, Arsenal are also interested in signing Abraham, who is a boyhood Gunners fan and idolised Thierry Henry growing up. Well, there you go. Apparently he's a boyhood Gunners fan, so dream come true for him. Is he though? However, the report claims that Arsenal will need to offload players first before they can meet Chelsea's £40 million valuation. Arsenal, who's already open to offers for Alexandre Lacazette, whose contract expires next summer, while Granit Xhaka and Lucas Torreira are both expected to be sold. Abraham, meanwhile, has scored 21 Premier League goals in his first 2 seasons for Chelsea, but Tuchel is keen for the club to recruit Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund this summer. Yeah, we're all keen to recruit Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund this summer, but it does seem unlikely if we're all gonna have a sober word with ourselves. So we're gonna need strikers. Chelsea would be willing to include Abraham as part of their bid, but Dortmund are adamant that Haaland will remain with them for at least 1 more season. Any deal for the Norway international, who has scored 57 goals in 59 games for Dortmund, is expected to cost Chelsea around £150 million. And we know the deal with Dortmund and Haaland as things stand. But Tammy Abraham, £40 million is a lot of money. Suddenly Chelsea's transfer window in terms of sales is looking like a lot. 26 million for Tomori, 20 million for Guehi, what was it, like 8 million for Victor Moses or something, 2 million for Giroud, and then potentially 40 million for Tammy Abraham. That's a lot of money. Proven goal scorer though, what, he scored 15 Premier League goals in his first season as a youngster. Loads and loads of career goals as a senior player. If you include, his championship goals, there was a lot. Really good attitude, really good sort of psychological profile on the pitch. Works hard and is a positive, fun guy and training every day. That's important for clubs. They don't want anyone to get miserable when they're not playing. Tammy Abraham is a good player and a good guy. Played for England, scored for England as well. You could imagine he'd back himself to get another call-up should he perform. He could probably score goals for Arsenal. And that sucks. Imagine the banter from Gooners when Tammy Abraham scores against Chelsea, or scores enough goals for them to get into the top 4. Do you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. But hey, football moves on. If it funds an elite striker, then necessary evil, I suppose. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Tammy Abraham to Arsenal. How would you feel about that? And let me know what you think about Jules Koundé as well. I'm keen to learn. Other than that, I'm done for today, friends. So please do drop a like on your way out. That means a lot. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. That would mean a lot. Enjoy the football. And guys, I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, bitch.